girls, I'm back. I sent the first video to YouTube, which was page 563. Now I am doing page 564 in the packet, which is the next page. Please see if you can find it. You can pause the video and take a few minutes and go back to that page. I'm going to post this video next. So you'll see this one after the one I sent about 25 minutes ago. And again, this says problem solving applications. So now we're going to use problem solving to tell time to the nearest minute. Okay, remember that was our learning target. How can we tell time to the nearest minute? Or I can tell time to the nearest minute. So if you look at this page, I'm not going to do all the word problems because I don't want to do number 14, 15, and 16 because it requires you looking at a clock, and some of the clocks that are on this sheet only go with certain problems, so I don't want to do those. I am going to do number 12, 13, and at the bottom I'm going to do number 17. So let's get started. And I started number 12 for you, and then we're just going to continue to go on with it, okay? It says, how many minutes later did the groundhog in Pennsylvania see its shadow than the groundhog in New York? So I already found the times for what time the groundhog saw his shadow in both states. In the state of New York where we live, he saw his shadow at 7:25. If you look carefully, Ms. Harling took the clock and I skip counted by fives until I landed on the 5 to see how many minutes had gone by, because the longhand gives the minutes. That's 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The shorthand tells the hour. We know it's between 7 and 8, but it's not quite at 8 o'clock yet, so it is the 7 o'clock hour. So my time is 7:25. Then if you look over here, for the state of Pennsylvania, PA stands for the state of Pennsylvania. This clock again is this shorthand is between 7 and 8. It is the 7 o'clock hour, not quite the 8 o'clock. It will be soon, but right now it's 7 o'clock. Then I counted the minutes and I had to keep counting till I got to the nearest minute. So first I skip counted by fives, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then I had to count those ticks in between. Those are the minutes, 26, 27, 28. So the time for Pennsylvania when the groundhog saw its shadow was 7:28. So if I go back to the problem, I already put the answer down, but I'm going to explain that to you. It says, how many minutes later in the day did the groundhog in Pennsylvania see its shadow than the groundhog in New York? It's 3 minutes. Why is that? Because here in Pennsylvania, 7:28 is when the groundhog saw its shadow, and it only saw its shadow at 7:25 in New York. So there is a difference between these two times. I know that because of the word how many minutes later. So let me just underline that part too. This tells me that I have to subtract. So he saw his shadow at a later time in Pennsylvania, not too much later. So what I did, and it looks like I erased it, so I did. I'm just going to show it to you again. I'm going to show the difference between the minutes. He saw his shadow at 7:28, 28 minutes after 7 for Pennsylvania, and 25 minutes after 7 in New York. The difference between those minutes is 3. So that's how I got 3 as my answer that I put over here, because it's telling me to subtract, which I did. The difference between the times is 3 minutes. All right, let's move on to number 13, go deeper. And again, if you think I'm going too fast, you can pause the video where you need to and then start it again to pick up where you left off. What if the groundhog in Pennsylvania saw its shadow 5 minutes later? What time would this be? Notice I underlined 5 minutes later. So if I go back over to the Pennsylvania time, he saw his shadow at 7:28, but I want to know what time that is 5 minutes later, like I underlined. So am I going to add 5 minutes on, or am I going to subtract 5 minutes on? I'm going to add 5 minutes on. Now notice up here in number 12, I said how many minutes later. That means to subtract because you're trying to find the difference. Here, you're not looking for the difference because it says, what if he saw his shadow in Pennsylvania 5 minutes later? We already know what time he saw it, but we have to add 5 minutes on to see what time it will be later. So if I add 5 minutes on to 28, I'm going to do this again. Here's 28 minutes after the 7, and I'm going to add 5, not subtract. I'm going to add 5 minutes on to the 28 minutes. So 8 plus 5 is what? 13. Carry the 1, bring down the 3, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. So how many minutes later is that? 33. Now, I can show you that on the clock as well. We're at 7:28, and I need to add 5 minutes. So I've got to count each minute. I'm not going to skip count by 5s because I'm on 28. So this would be 29, 30, that's 2 minutes. So I can count by 2. Let's do it that way. 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to make a mark on there. Now, if I want to count that, I can see what it is. If 6 represents 30 minutes, like we were talking about yesterday, that would be 30, 31, 32, and the one I marked is 33. So there's your 33 minutes. This long hand, which gives the minutes, would move to that tick that I made on the clock. And again, we know that also because I added 5 minutes on to the 28. So going back over here to number 13, what time will it be? 7:33. It'll be 33 minutes after 7. Or you could say, if you wanted to write it, you could write 33 minutes after 7. Okay, either way, it's telling the same time. 7:33 or 33 minutes after 7. So I'll hold there for a few seconds so you can write that down. Okay, now notice I told you I'm not going to do 14, 15, or 16 because you really need a clock to do those, and I don't have one with me right now to do it with you. So just X those out, and I am going to move to number 17 because if you notice on the right-hand side of the paper, there's a clock, so we can use it to help us solve this problem. It says, think smarter. Write the time that is shown on the clock. Then write the time another way. Easy peasy, right? So let's zoom in and look at this. Again, our hour hand is the short hand. We notice it's between the 9 and the 10. What hour is it? Is it the 9 o'clock hour or is it the 10 o'clock hour? All right, boys and girls, if you said the 9 o'clock hour, you are correct. So we know it's the 9 o'clock hour. Now we have to count the minutes and we have to count to the exact minute. We can begin by counting by 5. So let's do that first. So this would be 0 to 1, that's 5. 1 to 2, that's 10. 2 to 3, that's 15. 3 to 4, that's 20. And now we can't do that anymore because we have to count the exact ticks or the exact minutes in between. So this is 20, and then we're going to do 21, 22, 23. So this would be 23, okay? You can't see that. So there's 23 minutes. It's the 9 o'clock hour. How many minutes have gone by? 23. So now we're going to go over here and we're going to write the time. It is 9:23. And they want us to write it another way. So we could also say 23 minutes after 9. Okay, so that's another way we could do it. Okay, my friends. Now, I did give you that homework to do. I said if you wanted to do that, you could. This is the practice and homework page for lesson 10.1. It's on page, let's see, 565. I'm not going to go over that because I'm almost at the 10-minute mark, or I am at the 10-minute mark. Remember, I like to keep these videos short and sweet. So what I'm going to do is go over this homework page with you tomorrow. So now you get another day to do it. If you didn't finish it, you should be doing this page, and you should also be doing the back of that page as well, okay? So if you didn't finish that homework that I had given you yesterday, you could still work on it. I'm going to go over it tomorrow. I also made a new calendar. I said I'm going to try to like fill things in as I go along, because I said the first calendar, they were asking a lot from you and a lot from the teachers to kind of get through, and I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of pages in one day. I try to do 2 a day. So this was Monday, this was Tuesday, today is Wednesday. If you look, day 3, I still was doing lesson 10.1. I did page 563 and 564. And then I also asked you again to do the homework. And then tomorrow I will go over the homework and I will begin lesson 10.2. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.